Hey guys, welcome to part 2 of the Nintendo Switch not charging video. So I have the Switch here and I went ahead and I ordered the BQ charging ICs. But before that, I want to go ahead and get into a recap of what we've done to this board so far. So we went ahead and replaced the M9 charging IC and that didn't fix the problem. So I went ahead and ordered the BQ ICs and they came in about last week. And I started making the video and I changed this IC, but unfortunately this IC did not fix the problem. But the cool thing was, when I replaced the IC, I accidentally knocked the fuel gauge IC. And when you plug in the Switch now charges, but it doesn't turn on. And the reason is because I accidentally knocked the fuel gauge IC. In my experience, when you accidentally knock the fuel gauge IC on either the Switch or the Switch Lite, basically it's a battery detection chip. So if it's not connected to the board right, it's not going to detect the battery being connected to the rest of the board. So I ended up knocking that IC and the Switch wouldn't turn on anymore, but it was showing charging amps on the meter, which was really, really cool. So I knew that my BQ IC job worked. So anyways, I found the fuel gauge IC that it was kind of lumped over, and I removed it from the board. I cleaned it, I reballed the chip, I put the chip back on the board, and now we're back to square one again. It powers on, doesn't charge, and that's it. Which is a good thing now, because we've narrowed the issue down. It's, in my honest, humble opinion, I believe that it's the fuel gauge IC that's causing the problem of it not charging. So I went ahead and I ordered some fuel gauge ICs for the Switch, and so that's why I kind of prolonged this video to this week now. But since I ordered them, we'll go ahead and change them in this video, or change the IC, and hopefully we'll have a working Nintendo Switch. Alright, let's get you guys on the microscope and we'll change this IC. Alright, so first some flux. This is that Amtech 559. I also picked up a new pair of tweezers. They're very, very nice and fine. So we're going to wait till this chip gets nice and flowy. There it is. See how I can just kind of move it? There we go. IC is off the board. That was really nice and fast. So just a reference, this little triangle up here, that's where pin number 1 is, right here. So I am going to take some flux, put it right here on the board. I'm going to take an iron here with a nice fine tip. We're going to go ahead and clean off the solder here just by touching it to the board. Just like that. That will be good enough and flat enough for what we need to do when putting the new chip on. Okay. Now I'm going to grab a Q-tip and some alcohol in a nice little syringe bottle. We'll go ahead and clean this area up here. Alright. So I'm going to move the board out of the way. Here are our new chips. I'm going to grab my tweezers here. I'm going to try to... This is my finger for comparison. This is the chip that we are working with right here. That's my finger in comparison, if you're wondering. Okay. And here's our new chip. It already has brand new solder balls on it. Take a look at that right there. Amazing. Alright, let's put this chip on the board. Put a tad bit of flux down on the board. I mean, just a little dab. Just about like that. Nothing too much, because we just want to flow this IC, you know what I mean? Okay. So let's go ahead and put our IC in place. It's going to go about just like about like that. Okay? Now, grab the hot air, turn our hot air on. Remember, about 290 degrees, about 6 as far as the air goes. And if we watch carefully, This chip, by surface tension, should just slide right in place. Up here. There it is. It moved right into place. Now, we're done with the hot air. We're going to let this board cool for just a minute. We'll go ahead and clean up with some isopropyl alcohol to clear up the rest of that residual flux. And we should be good to go. After changing all the ICs on the switch, nothing. The battery still wouldn't charge. And so I took to Facebook and I talked to a gentleman named Shane Fix, and he's associated with Tronics Fix, which is pretty cool. And he pointed me to the fact that sometimes the battery just needs to be manually charged because the charging system in the switch is very weak. And so probably the battery was discharged. Well, the battery, it was taking a charge originally and decided to start not taking a charge anymore. So I went ahead, bought a new battery. So what we're going to do is I'm going to plug in our USB amp meter. This is one I just bought recently. We're going to plug it in. It says welcome on the screen. We're going to plug in the switch, see what it does with a brand new battery. Let's see. Haha, look at that. That's charging at the correct, well, wait. There it is. See? Now I kind of switched to some sort of fast charging, but this is going through my Samsung brick, not like an official Nintendo brick. But anyways, yeah, so, and then look, here's our switch. Oh, it doesn't have, and here's our switch. It's on and everything. So, wonderful, wonderful. Let's see. There it is. And there's our switch. And it's charging. Look at that. And it's charging at a good amperage too. Look at that. 1 amp. That's pretty awesome. Well, that's pretty much it for this video. I'm sorry that it took so long to get this video finally out to you guys. This switch literally threw me through a loop, and to be honest, I learned a lot through this repair. Was it the battery from the beginning? Maybe, probably. I'm guessing probably it was, but realistically I'm not super sure. Obviously, I don't know. I'm guessing probably the battery was so discharged, but I'm not sure. But I'm going to go with what Shane said about the battery needing to be manually charged, like on a bench power supply. That's probably my guess of what it was. So anyways, if you guys like this video, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and leave a comment down below if you have a suggestion in a future video. And I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.